Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to Stormworks. We are back in the workbench. We are working on our flying carrier once again. And in this episode, we're going to do a little bit of some crew space, and not this crew space down here. We did talk about that, and we worked on this mess hall down here a little bit last episode. There has been some changes. That middle medical room, the recordings kind of got jumbled a little bit, but I do not believe you guys have seen this part of it yet, so we are going to get right into it. So my plan is to just kind of put a general crew bunk over in kind of the inner part of the wings, kind of close to the wing spars. And then that, obviously we'll have some other crew spaces for, officers, but this is going to be more like kind of general crew space. So yeah, that's more or less the plan for today. We're not going to get too much built, and like I said, I know these are kind of out of order a little bit, so I do apologize. But in the last episode, we did kind of work on like a crew compartment area and like a seating area, and then downstairs we worked on the downstairs area a little bit too by adding a couple bedrooms, and if I'm not mistaken, I believe we also worked on the medical room a little bit too. All right, well, I'm going to kind of quit yapping on about. I do apologize about the order of the videos being a little bit jumbled, but I promise you we're not really missing anything. But yeah, we're going to hop right into the time lapse. I'm going to get most of these rooms shaped out, and we will come back and we will give it a layer of detail and polish it up a little bit. All right, so you guys can see we did get a start on these bunk rooms. Now I'm trying to cram as many beds in here as possible. So right now we've got the 6. I'm gonna see if we can get away with 8 bunks in each room, and then we'll have 2 rooms, so 16 crew. And I think that should be plenty. So anything other than just the general crew would be more temporary passenger, or it would be more of like an officer that gets a space downstairs. So I think this should be plenty of bunk space, and this is kind of what we're looking like floor plan wise for this top deck. And yeah, I think this room is a good chunk. It's a good size. I like the rest of the aircraft. I'm gonna try to avoid like a lot of paint blocks, that kind of stuff. Just again, we're fighting the file size on this. If I can get away with it at the end, I'll come back, give it some paint blocks, but for now we're just kind of doing the block thing, and we'll get into the nitty gritty later down the road if we can. Emphasis on the if we can. But for now, I am just going to give all this a couple layers of paint to make it look a little bit nicer. And then I'm also going to give the bunks some equipment. And we'll also try to get a little desk in here so they have a small little area to work in. Now, I know normally I put lockers in, and this is generally the area that I would kind of do that. But again, since we are trying to save on file size, we will worry about that later. Maybe I will come through and name just the bunks, but for now, I don't really have a plan to do that. Now, there is a plan to basically the 5 rooms downstairs, they are for the contest winners. If you are new to the channel, we did a build challenge for this vehicle to build parasite fighters. Now, guys, I do apologize. Life's kind of hitting me all fast with all sorts of stuff right now. So it might be a few weeks until I see that. Hi, kitty cat. You need to say hi to everyone. Yeah, say hello. But anyways, we're gonna get that video done. You guys just please give me a few weeks. I might need to take a week or two from YouTube, but I'm doing my best to get that recorded. So I'll let you know when we get that posted. I try to get them done a little bit sooner than this one's taking, but again, I'm kind of dealing with a lot of stuff in the background, so I do apologize, guys, but we'll get it done, don't worry. And we'll definitely have some more build challenges in the future. If you guys are interested in those, just check out the link below to my Discord. We make announcements for them. You're going to want to join the dock workers. That would be the role for people who want to participate in our build challenges. And again, I'm kind of just going through giving this thing a couple layers of paint to make it look a little bit nicer. Nothing too crazy, nothing fancy. But yeah, that kind of leaves me off with the next topic. So we just finished a build. The frigate is done. So if you haven't seen that, go check it out. If you have seen it and you don't care, then well, you don't care and don't check it out. But anyways, the frigate's done, which means I need to start another build soon. And I just said that, I might need to take a week or two break from YouTube, which is true. But we do try to plan things pretty far out on this channel just because, well, my builds generally take me a few months. So the next build, I'm pretty sure I know what I'm doing, but I'm still open to ideas. So if you guys have any ideas, just let me know down below in the comments or in Discord. Currently I'm kind of in between building a replenishment ship for Navy vessels and or a submarine. So I know a lot of people have been asking for the submarines. The submarine might take a little bit longer. It is a pretty big one. And I overdo things. So submarines are a lot for me to do because of the amount of plumbing and stuff like that I get into. But yeah, that's kind of the two thoughts. And honestly, I'm really, really happy with the premise of both builds. So we might build them both, but who knows? If you guys do have any crazy cool suggestions, do let me know. I'm always welcome to hearing about those. I like to build weird, wacky stuff. And if it's something that I think is super, super interesting and that there's kind of a space for in Stormworks, then maybe I'll check it out. But anyways, here's that little desk that I was talking about that we were going to add. Now I am going to add kind of like an overhead bin compartment, which is really weird. I've been using these a lot on this aircraft, but it is an aircraft, so you can't really just leave like your luggage out and about. It does need to kind of go into a compartment. So that's why I've been going kind of crazy with the shelves and the overhead bins and the handles and that kind of thing, just because it's an easy way for me to detail the space up without getting into paint blocks and that kind of thing. So I know I said I'm not going to use paint blocks. I actually went back and deleted these, so it's funny. But yeah, they're not there anymore. I did delete them. And that's, again, we're just trying to fight the file size. I think it'll be okay. I do have a good chunk of the aircraft carrier done. I admittingly haven't actually worked on it in a little bit. That's my own fault. But I think we'll be all right. I'm not really too worried about it at this point. I got most of the logic done. The only real other thing that I need to get into the cockpit at this point would be like a artificial horizon, I guess, something like that. Basically, I need to get like my main flight computer screen, but I don't want to do MFD. I just want to do an artificial horizon. I don't want to do an MFD just because it's just a lot of logic, and it's going to muck the game up, especially with a plane this big. We don't need to have MFDs running. We don't need to have 2 different MFDs with 10 Lewis scripts running. it's not good for the game. So we're not going to do that. We're going to do just one artificial horizon, I believe, and we'll call it a day with that. But enough of that. I'm just working on getting some lights thrown in here, and we'll maybe rework some of the overhead skylights. But other than that, this room is more or less kind of done. Obviously, we've got a little bit more detailing to do in here, but I think that this is fine for what we're trying to do. This is an aircraft. It is a military aircraft. It's not like these guys are going on some luxury resort vacation or whatnot. It is a work trip, more or less. Well, not really a trip. It is just where they work. So doesn't really need to be super comfortable. It just needs to be livable, I guess. And for that reason is why I'm just going to get into, not really going too crazy with the amenities, but more so making sure they're taken care of with equipment and space and safety and that kind of thing. So safety and equipment are a much higher priority than like comfort on this, just because it's a military aircraft. Obviously, you don't really prioritize comfort in the military generally. And if you do, it's probably not like a really good military, if I'm being honest. Anyways, enough of that. We're just kind of doing the finishing touches on this bunk room now. I want to make sure each person has a basic set of equipment, aka a parachute, a med kit, a flashlight, and a radio. And then we can kind of scatter some of the other equipment. But I wanted to make sure that they all had this equipment in itself at least, and that equipment is enough to kind of get you by if you end up in a bad situation. So basic equipment for everybody. Probably realistically more so stuff they should just keep on their body. The lifeboat thing or the parachute thing is kind of like the lifeboat thing. Realistically, probably should have them everywhere. Realistically, probably not going to have time to go get one if there is an emergency. But whatever. You guys don't want to carry them, then no suing the industrial whack airplane company. So anyways, the rest of this is just going to be like assorted junk. I'm just going to look through the equipment menu and just try to find some stuff that's useful, like this transponder. I'm going to go ahead and throw some transponders in, and we'll get some strobes and some flares and some glow sticks. And most of this is just like emergency equipment, not like kind of daily use stuff, if that makes sense. So a lot of this is, you're in a bind and you need help. So that's kind of where a lot of this equipment comes from. Now, there will be an equipment room. Man, I'm saying that word a lot. I'm sorry. There will be an equipment room, and in there we'll have a lot of the other stuff like weapons and firefighting suits and SCBAs and ammo, that kind of good stuff. The good stuff. We'll have backup defibs, but all this is just kind of like general equipment that the crew can have and doesn't really need to be locked up. So the equipment room will be more like equipment that probably should be locked up, if that makes sense. Anyways, folks, that is just about all of the building we are going to do in this one. Got a couple other bits and bobs here and there, but we don't need to show every little part of it. And just give me 1 second. We'll get this thing spawned in the overworld, and we are in real time. So let's just kind of check it out. So again, I know the interior of this thing is a little bit behind last episode, but don't hate me for it, guys. But yeah, this is kind of the space we worked on. We've got 4 bunks over here, a bunch of equipment, and they all got their own parachutes. We got lights, a heater, and then there's 4 bunks on the other side of the room, and there's 2 of these rooms. So we have 8 bunks in each room, 16 beds, and that should be plenty for this aircraft. A crew of 16 plus. Good God, imagine getting stuck on this thing for weeks on end. Hope you like airplanes and you don't like fresh air. But anyways, I'm just kind of saying dumb things. Let's go ahead. We'll check out some of the stuff in the cockpit. I did a little bit of work from this, but you guys shouldn't really notice any major differences. And none of the work is really meaningful either. A lot of it's just kind of coming in piece by piece. But anyways, like I said, that's all the building we have for this episode. So I'm just going to mess around in the overworld here for a few minutes. So you guys, I like to do that, especially with the carrier, just because I'm sure people are a lot more interested in how this thing plays and what it looks like and that kind of thing than, kind of like the ships are a lot different just because, you know what you're getting with a ship. This is kind of a different build. You don't really see airplanes this size a lot in the game, and definitely not carriers, that kind of stuff. So we're just up here cruising through the clouds, right below the clouds, and yeah, we'll just see if I can get unstuck from the flight deck here, and we'll go check it out. We'll go walk around, and we'll just see what we worked on before I say our goodbyes. And yeah, I love these windows, by the way. I think honestly it's such a stupid place to put a window, but it's so cool to be able to look out right there. And don't worry, I know I'm walking around kind of funny in this clip. Once there is an autopilot and an altitude hold, once that gets like actually hooked in and correctly working, you could basically full sprint around the airplane. So it's not going to be any of this like kind of hop, jump, and skip stuff that is a struggle to move around. It's just because I don't have a gyro or an altitude hold in the aircraft right now. But I'm just kind of looking around at our windows. Just I want to see how much light's coming in, which is not much, but that's okay. It is a bedroom. We don't want a lot of light coming in. And yeah, guys, I think that's pretty much it for this one. So if you made it to the end, thank you so much as always. I really appreciate it. If you guys like this build series, don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button. If you want to see better updates or kind of make some friends, meet some people, check out the link to the Discord below. I'll try to keep these videos coming. I'll try to keep you guys updated. I'll catch you in the next episode. I hope you all have a wonderful rest of your day.